Hey everyone, welcome back to Perfect Hedge Sports. Today we're going to discuss the most effective way to convert your free bets into actual withdrawable cash in your sportsbook accounts. So this follows a similar methodology to arbitrage, but in this case, we're not solely looking for pure arbs or even middles, although there's certainly a bonus. The main thing we're looking for here is high plus odds on the site where you have the free bet, with reasonably priced offsetting odds on the other side of the market on a different book. There are a lot of different ways to handle your free bets, but this strategy goes along with the mindset of trying to make as much guaranteed money as possible and taking few, if any, risks along the way. If you've watched my video on how to use the FanDuel and Barstool sign-up promotions against each other to guarantee yourself a pretty large profit, this video will provide useful insights on how to do that same process on other books with different sign-up promotions. So BetMGM, FoxBet, Unibet, and a bunch of others offer risk-free first bet promotion where if your bet loses, rather than site credit like FanDuel and Barstool, they'll credit you with free bets up to a certain amount. So for almost all free bets, you don't receive that stake amount back in the payout of your bet. So for a $100 free bet, if you bet on something at plus 100, you will be paid out just the winnings of that bet, which would be $100. Like I said, you're just getting the winnings of the bet since technically you didn't wager anything. It was just that free bet value. Compare it to if you actually stake that $100, you made a regular $100 cash bet on a plus 100 line, stake $100, win $100, your payout would be 200 if that bet wins. So compare that 200 to the 100, and there's the obvious difference. So we're on OddsJam's low hold dashboard, and you'll see the main differences between here and the arbitrage, middle, and positive EV pages are that there are two percentage columns, one being the hold percent and the other being the conversion percent. The hold percent relates to the vigor juice you're seeing in comparing the two odds. 0% hold means it's a perfect offset, like the plus 125 and minus 125 you see here, which is perfectly fine for these conversions. OddsJam's hold percent does not differentiate between arbs and slight juice, so any small percent just means the odds are slightly different. The more important number on this page, though, is the conversion percent, as that's the amount of the free bet that will be able to convert into a cash balance risk-free. Again, on this dashboard, we want to look for high conversion rates with the longer odds, the plus odds on the book where we have the free bet. So as you can see here, this one has an 83% conversion based on the plus 500 side, and this one has a 55.5% conversion based on the plus 125. So all these conversions are going to be based off of the more favorable free bet figure, which is going to be the plus. Now, in this case, you see plus 100 either side. It's exactly 50%. Obviously, no matter which side you have the free bet on, it's going to be the same scenario. So I'm going to show you guys an example and where this conversion percentage really comes into play. So I'm going to start with the plus 500 and minus 500. This is obviously the higher conversion percentage and the more favorable scenario. Again, this is assuming we have the free bet on BetMGM here. So I'm just going to use these numbers because it's an example. You know, whatever site you have the free bet on, if you have it on MGM, great, but this would not be a good one to use for FoxBet, right? Because that's the heavy minus odds. So again, you want to look for the high plus odds for this free bet conversion. So I have the free bet on MGM, going to use it at plus 500. So we're going to say $100 free bet at the free play line of plus 500 on the Minnesota money line. And then the hedge line is minus 500 for Ohio State over on FoxBet. So what this is telling you is to convert that $100 free bet into $83 profit guaranteed, you need to put $416.67 on Ohio State minus 500. Now, again, the reason this works out that way and why you can't get it to $100 is because you're not getting that, technically that stake back in that free bet. So the payout that you're getting on that free bet is slightly lower. So the 83% is actually a really good number for this kind of exercise. And that this is also where if you ever compare risk-free bets versus deposit matches are almost always more favorable because of this exact scenario where you do get those full dollars, especially if it's like site credit where you can wager it, compared to these free bets where that stake is just kind of gone once you bet it. It's just the winnings that you're worried about here. So like we see, we can turn this into $83 on a $100 free bet, which again, if you're just looking to convert things over, that's a pretty good number. And I'll show you guys here the plus 125 instance. So again, we'll go $100 free bet. We're going to assume that free play line is on the plus 125 for the Giants. And OddsJam's going to tell us we need to wager $69.44 on the Broncos minus 125 to lock in that $55 profit. So as you can see, lot less profit than in the scenario where we get the plus 500 odds on the free bet. So I will say the only thing to really look out for in these instances is when you have a really, really long odds scenario on your free bet. So let's take this one, for example. So this plus 1200, it's a 92% conversion, which is great. And even for that $100 free bet, again, I'm just going to pretend that, whatever books these are, this is where we have the free bet. So that's great that we're able to get this 92% conversion, but look at the hedge bet that you have to do. Now, this is completely up to you. Do what makes the most sense, but obviously this is $700 more in your hedge bet compared to the 83% conversion, and you're only getting an additional $10. Now, obviously, if you have the bankroll to support this bet, that's totally fine. I'd obviously round this number to maybe just 1100 flat. At the end of the day, you got to decide what's worth it for you. Is it, if you can afford the bankroll, that's great. You get those extra $10, but it's kind of diminishing returns at a certain point. So obviously use this table to the extent that you can. Hunt the opportunities as much as possible. Definitely don't just jump at the first thing. I'd probably try to prioritize things that are about 66% or better. Usually should be able to find something along those lines. Ultimately, if you're looking to treat these free bets like arbitrage, low hold conversion is very useful. And while it is a slightly different approach in typical arbitrage, it does have some of the same things. So again, as that shortcut, you want to get to the same total payout in both scenarios. So for the free play, obviously you're losing the quote stake. You want to get to that same total payout on your hedge bet. Also, I know I've said this a couple times already, but make sure you're taking the free bet on the plus side. If you're doing this kind of activity on the minus side, you're losing a lot of the conversion. It's not worth it to do it that way. So make sure to hunt for opportunities where you get that heavy plus money, and obviously where you have the capital on another book to offset that. So as with arbitrage, middles, and positive EV, OddsJam is extremely useful in consolidating these available opportunities so that you can simply come to this dashboard and see what's available rather than trying to identify if these instances exist on your own. Use my link in the video description and check it out with 7-day free trial. Use the listed promo code for $5 off. Everything's there for you. If you have any questions on it, check out some of my other videos as well. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there, but thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and share. Leave any comments on these videos. Email me with any questions, or if there's topics you want to see covered. I want to make sure I'm providing insightful materials so that we can all become more profitable bettors and helping each and every one of you out. Thanks, guys. I'll see y'all next time.